All right, good evening. Thank you all for being here. It's nice to have a nice crowd here tonight. Thank you all. And we will start with Barbara Smith, and she's going to have our prayer and pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we bow before you, saying thank you. Thank you for this day, and thank you for what you're going to do tonight with us, that we will carry this meeting with an open mind and an open heart. And dear Heavenly Father, I ask that you come in to this meeting and be with each one of these board members, that we will be what you want us to be. In their name, I ask, amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order, and our first item is approval of our minutes from the March 10th meeting.
offer motion that we accept the minutes as printed.
We have a motion to accept the minutes for March 10th meeting as presented. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved as presented. We have a presentation, and we're waiting for the chief of police to arrive to be able to continue with that, so we'll move past that presentation. We'll come back to it. I'll turn it over to our city manager, Dane, if you have some comments.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's great to see you. First, some really good news. So the State Journal for West Virginia does what's called his Generation Next 40 Under 40. And I'm pretty proud and pretty honored to announce that Josh Klein and Chaz Cole were both two recipients from in all of West Virginia that actually received recognition last Thursday, as a matter of fact, at the state level, and are in the West Virginia State Journal, and are those 40 under 40 individuals that we are trying to keep in our state. I will tell you that Senator Cole actually spoke to the group, and it was a who's who convention, to be honest. It was up there, and the important message that he brought forth is that unfortunately one of West Virginia's #1 exports are our young folks out of the state, and this is recognizing talent that is inside West Virginia, and we need to keep it. So congratulations, Josh, and Chaz Cole on their nominations and selections. So.
Want to make a speech?
No.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, couple of updates here for you real quick. One date to put on your calendar is the 1st of April. I think that's next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. The city, as well as any volunteers that would like to join us, we're going to get after and we're going to clean up the overlook. East River Mountain Overlook. It's a gorgeous area until you look down. And then it's pretty trashy. And before the snakes get out, I understand there's a lot of snakes up there. We're gonna clean that place up, put a couple coats of paint on some stuff, get some fresh mulch in there, and really try and start taking back some of these neglected areas. The mayor and myself were up there yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we were surprised. I mean, there was 15 vehicles up there, people having picnics, and anyway, it just needs some love, and we're going to give it to it. So if you would like to join us at 9 o'clock in the morning to help clean that area up, we're going to put the city employees and the maintenance guys in some of the more steep terrain, but we'll provide gloves and the proper materials and stuff to get that place cleaned up. But we're gonna get after that, and then that'll spread across the city. We'll start announcing other places that we're gonna get after as well. A reminder that on Wednesday, the 31st at 6 p.m. over at the Mount Zion Baptist Church is our next town hall meeting, and this is a very important one because this is going to be where Triton Corporation, along with District 10 of the Department of Highways, is going to walk us through the accelerated bridge construction for the Martin Luther King Bridge. And so it's your opportunity to see how the demolition is going to happen and how it's going to be, the new bridge is going to be erected. It's pretty interesting and pretty new technology on how they're going to construct the bridge and then put it in place. It starts the 8th of June. And will be finished by August. And so, and trust me, they want to get that thing finished because they start incurring fees if they don't. So that's a good news piece. Okay, a couple of updates. Here very soon, you're going to see inside the city being able to pay. You can already pay with a credit card through the city, but you're going to be able to pay any fees, special trash pickup, registrations, eventually business licenses, and any other type of operations you have to do with the city online, and be able to use credit cards. It's taken us a while to work through that, but Kelly Davis has massively gotten after this. We are very close to getting it started, and so instead of having to come to City Hall, you'll be able to do it from your iPhone, your computer, what have you. A couple of things that are happening inside the city that just so if you start seeing some things down at the tennis courts area, you're going to start seeing some construction going on down there, down at City Park. The June Shot Foundation a year ago gave the city monies for bleachers to be put in down there so that they can actually host tournaments and stuff. Our lawyer, you don't see a lot of the things that the lawyer does behind the scenes, but we don't make a decision inside the city without going to Brian and making sure we're legal. And some of the stuff that he does and wrestles with is, for example, is what we're doing down at City Park. We have to wrestle away some land from Mercer County Schools, believe it or not, to keep us legal, just to put in place a small slice, if you will, to put in some bleachers. It sounds minute, but it's part of what we do. The other piece is downtown. You're going to start seeing Appalachian Power working more on some of the transformers, if you will, and stuff. There's still some more work downtown that we're going to be getting after. That'll happen here soon. Some good news: the Social Security office up there next to the old Kroger's on Cumberland has just pulled a permit, and they're going to be doing quite a bit of construction up there, about $700,000 worth of renovations. So it's a pretty big job up there, but what I understand, it's going to look really nice, and it's going to help the area up there. Hopefully, you all, as a city, have noticed that we are aggressively getting after the potholes. We have guys getting after it 6 days a week. While other cities have decided not to use cold patch, we are. It only lasts for about 30 days, but it keeps you from having to realign your car every other week. And until the factories open up where we can get asphalt and do more permanent patches. But we've more or less bought out all of the cold patch in the local area, and we are aggressively getting after potholes throughout the city. And so hopefully you guys are all taking notice of that. And if you see any of the Public Works guys, pat them on the back and tell them thanks. They're also doing quite a bit of work at East River Park, which is including new gravel in the parking lot area, and also at Midway Park. I think you're going to start seeing that we're really we've got a new Parks and Recreation Director, and he's really putting a focus on making sure those parks are not only safe, but also getting after improvements. Had a couple of shootings here in the city. It's as the warmer weather happens and stuff, but while they were unfortunate events that are out there, I want to say thanks to our police department for doing what they do I will tell you that they've solved a couple of them pretty quickly. There is still an individual at large who's in the NCIS database, which means if he goes anywhere, obviously in the United States, they'll pick him up pretty quickly. But anyway, hopefully you've seen more of a presence out there with our police force, and they're getting after some pretty important things. And then the last thing you're going to see, so I want to make sure you sort of see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. I talk a lot about the police. I talk a lot about the fire department, all those guys. It's pretty visible stuff, but I sort of wanted to highlight Kelly Davis and Brian Cochran are these are board employees that do all of the behind the scenes, not so visible, but highly impactful type of work. We have spent the last couple of, she's a lot longer, but we've intensive months getting after what you'll see tonight, which is a city budget. And I will tell you that for the first time, in talking to a lot of folks, that they feel very comfortable with our financial position, that we actually know where we are, and that's because we have a qualified individual who is, no kidding, getting after not only what we need to operate on, but also looking long-term, capital improvements, if you will, and making sure that the city, that 2 or 3 boards from now don't have nightmares because we didn't have the vision in order to prepare for those type of events. And then of course Brian, we've been sort of wearing Brian out with quite a few areas when it comes to anything that comes to do with the city. If it's a lawsuit, if it's unemployment type of issues, if it's these wild ideas that the city manager decides he wants to do that day and gets talked off the ledge. We've got a qualified lawyer that is not only knows more what's going on with the city, but also has background being a previous city manager, and also brings a great law enforcement background that really helps us get after some of the more difficult things. So I guess from my foxhole to my battle buddies, thanks for what you guys are doing, and we never really take time to point that out. So that's all I've got.
I saw Dennis.
Did he pop in?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so we're going to take a couple of opportunities here. So one of the cool things that we get to do is as police officers retire, we get to bring in fresh blood into our police force. We've got 3 phenomenal individuals. One of them we stole. We rearranged the deck chairs and stole from the fire department. But anyway, I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the talent. We had quite a few individuals come out and try out for this, and we truly got the creme de la creme of candidates. And I'm pretty proud to be on the team with these 3 new individuals. So I'm going to turn it over to Dennis.
I'd like to introduce to you 3 of our newest officers. Devin Williams, Doug Miller Jr., and of course we stole Justin Lucas from the fire department. I'm happy and pleased to have all 3. They were top 3 on our list of new hires, and proud to have them with us as part of the Bluefield Police Department. So what you're going to see next is our city clerk is going to swear them in. So, gentlemen.
You just kind of on this way. Do you state your name, please?
Aaron Miller.
Solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the state of West Virginia, and the laws and ordinances of the city of Bluefield, and that you will discharge your duties as a police officer to the best of your skill and judgment. So help you God. Congratulations.
You want to come down?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, that'd be great. I think it's the last one.
That'll work well for something like that.
I'm sorry. That was like something I do.
Here's another one I need.
Too much, Steve.
We'll put them in front of you.
It's NCS.
There should be one underneath. You can
We don't use
Ellen, Barbara.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ben. I'm sorry,
Barbara. Guys, I'm gonna get three of you to line up right in the middle in front of them, and Chief Billy, and decide, go ahead and stand here. Get Lucas right here.
And where does the ridiculously short person?
Right here in front of Dave. And then Mike up beside Barbara. Perfect.
All right, I think you have a career in
I've done this all the time.
Tamp my.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Media, anybody need? Family, do you all want to come up and take a picture? Come on up, family. Take 2 minutes.
You take one, I'll take
Go ahead. This is a free-for-all, so you all just lay it out how you want to. Anybody else? Good. Oh, we got one more.
Wait, because I'll take one.
All right, are we good?
I haven't seen one. I know.
Just make sure you're smiling. All right, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. I paused it.
Just pause.
Are you guys on duty now? Does nobody ever stand me next to Tommy? Are we turning on the call here again?
The next part of our meeting is going to be public comments, and I know there's a number of you that want to speak. But just briefly, I want to share with you a few observations that I've made and a few things that we've talked about with regard to this dog park. I've had the opportunity to go up to the old Fairview Junior High School site about 3 times since the zoning board meeting. And you can't hear me? Okay. I'll try and speak a little louder. So anyway, I've gone to the Fairview Park 3 times since the zoning board meeting, and I've spoke with whoever was there. I've stopped over and talked to people across the street as late as yesterday. One of the overwhelming things that I heard was we want to make sure that there's a place for children to play. And I think that's a very valid point and something that we are taking into consideration and will make a significant part of our park. And as I told you at the zoning board meeting, those of you who were there, doesn't require a vote by our board, but we're going to vote on that tonight. So you'll have that satisfaction, if you will, of knowing how your board members vote with regard to the dog park. But playground equipment will be a significant part of our proposal to that, a nice area. Now, when I was up there last week, it was early in the week, there was 2 or 3 residents that were in the park. There were 4 dogs in the park, all off leash. None of them were leashed. They were all just kind of roaming around. There were kids playing. There was a young preteen, maybe 10, 11 years old, riding a motorbike through the park. You know, there's a lot of racket that would go along with something like that. This board is trying to be progressive. We want to move the needle. We want to see our community thrive. Somebody had mentioned jobs to me, talking about the dog park. We need jobs, and I don't disagree, but one of the responsibilities of a municipality is to provide a community, a city for people to live for wherever the jobs may be. You know, whether they're in Virginia, or they're in Princeton, or they're in McDowell County, I don't care where the jobs are, I want to make sure that we have a nice community, something with amenities, something that will be attractive to people moving to this area. Our property values have been stagnant for 20-some years in Bluefield. And that is a major goal of mine, is to move property values in the right direction. You know, that's supposed to be the best investment you can make. And, you know, we're working hard at that. We've torn down in the last 18 months, how many houses?
107.
I think it's really more than that. I think it's more like about 150 really in the past year and a half. Blighted properties. Is that, Lori, do you have a?
I think my best guess would be about 157. We had torn down roughly 50 and then 107.
Okay. So 150 properties that were blighted, and this city has gone out and worked at that. We're trying to make the communities, make the neighborhoods better. So anyway, all I ask is an open mind. Give us a chance. Give us a chance to prove that we can do something good. I know that there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of apprehension. Give us a chance to show you that the city can follow through and really bring to this community a great amenity, something that will be very nice, and also encompassing of children and providing that piece as well. So anyway, thank you all. Mr. Hancock, you're the first on our list.
Okay. Excuse me. Mr. Mayor, City Board, I would like to grant myself as much time as I may consume. Thanks again for this wonderful opportunity to stand before you and realize that you didn't have to do it, but you did. As you know, all I ever talk about is veterans. And I'm going to make it real short because I see you got a lot of people want to speak today. But let me tell you, the veteran population of West Virginia is 202,000. The population of West Virginia is 1.8 million. So you can see why is there more people talking about veterans. We do have a few civilians that jump on the bandwagon every once in a while and take credit for things that they didn't earn. But you take the credit. I realize that some of it is my fault for talking so much. So I will stop now by saying, remember the Alamo. Now reserve the balance of my time. One more thing though, it doesn't matter what you achieve in life if you're not serving somebody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Hancock, don't forget on Sunday in Princeton at 3 o'clock, the second annual Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day is going to happen.
It's this
So,
Sunday.
this
This
Sunday.
is Sunday.
And the guest speaker is,
Dream of Denver.
along with
That young man sitting right
retired
there.
Colonel Dane Ryder.
That young man sitting right there. Thank you, sir. God make it.
Dream Butcher.
I have spoken up here 2 times before. It is a very important cause to our community, and you can see that we have turned out every time there's been a mention of the dog park. We are not adverse to a dog park, but there are so many locations in this city with flat level lands and with major highways near them where it's very easy to get to them. We are in a situation where we are living one on top of the other with our neighbors. There's only a driveway separating us. Our streets are only big enough for 2 cars, and one lane is blocked by cars that park in front of our homes. This is not, according to dog parks that I've looked at on maps on the internet, they are located either in other parks or they've got a major highway they can get off on them, and there may be residences around them, but they're not stacked driveway to driveway and all the way around. I feel that our opinion, although we will be the ones that will have to live with this decision for the rest of our lives, you will be able to move on. You will get this accomplished and you'll make your next step. And it'll be gone from your mind, okay? But we in the neighborhood, whatever your decision is, we will face the consequences. We will be the ones that have to live with the noise, any pollution that happens, if the land gets tainted and it cannot be used. And I've heard of an instance of a dog park that actually happened to in Virginia. So these things, we have been looking, we have been studying. If you're going to ignore all of that, just remember this, we will remember you. We will not forget the faces of board members that made this decision. And when all the things that we have worried about come to pass, the buck is going to stop right at this table. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Butcher. I have Harold Wells here to speak, and I don't see.
She's not here. He's going to try to get here in the Blue Oak Pharmacy. He closes at 6. I told you the last time he was I did read his remarks, and he's requested that since I read his remarks to the zoning board, I know 3 city board members were at the zoning board meeting, but 2 were not. And with your permission, may I read Harold's remarks to this board?
We'll
You want to
reserve
wait?
that and see if he shows up. I talked to Harold today. I went and visited him in Blue Well.
Okay, good.
So I did, and I met with his wife, so we'll...
Well, and he may have counted that as his remarks, you know.
Well, he told me he was planning on being here. He told me the same thing, so... So if he shows up, we'll let him speak, and...
Am I after Harold? I think I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's why I remain standing. My name is Nancy Campbell, and I live at 669 Shenandoah Avenue. And I've done so much research, it seems like that I can't sleep at night because I want to find out what this is all about. If this is going to be right in our faces, I have to know what it is. And some of these remarks are stern, and I'm not directing them personally to the board. And I would like to welcome Mr. Rideout. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you one-on-one, but I hear great things you're doing, and we thank you. Okay? Last week I spoke before the zoning board and left my printed statement. I hope the two board members who were not present have read them or will read them. They dealt with the health standard requirements under R2 zoning. Of course, you can grant yourself a variance on those too, like you did on the fence, but doing so will not exempt you in a court of law. You must act with due diligence to protect the health and safety of residents and visitors to the park. You might want to keep that in mind as you decide to vote tonight. There is an attorney in California by the name of Kenneth Phillips who has devoted his entire career to dog bite victims and has much to say about dog parks. His advice is as follows. Number one, pickup bags must be plentiful and frequently removed. Number two, signs must be well placed, holes need filling, grass and turf need watering, and benches need cleaning. Number three, a city needs a budget to maintain a dog park, and then it requires supervision. Number four, only neutered dogs and female dogs not in heat are to enter a dog park. Number five, no puppies. Number six, no overly aggressive, overly assertive, overly unruly, fearful, or under-socialized dogs. Number seven, no dogs dropped off by the owner. Number eight, no dog that has been declared to be dangerous by a court or the Animal Control Department. It was clear at the zoning board meeting last week that the city has not placed any funds aside for this project and has no intention of hiring a person or persons to oversee the park. The mayor said it would be run on donations. This is a very short-sighted approach and exposes the city legally. Attorney Phillips continues by stating that the dog park should not be too close to you because of the noise. It will be close to all of us. It should not be uphill from you, he states, because the rainwater will carry little boats of dirty you-know-what, filling your street with bacteria. It will be uphill for nearly all of us. To further the argument, the ASPCA has written that the potential for disease at dog parks is high and the land should be selected wisely. It should never be the highest point, which the Fairview property is. And secondly, the land used for a dog park will never be redeemable for any other use because of the high disease content. In fact, if it's ever used for another purpose, hazmat will have to remove so many feet of soil before it can be used. These are serious concerns for our neighborhood and should also be a serious concern for this board. In a separate article by Mr. Phillips found at dogbitelaw.com, he states that a neighborhood in Los Angeles that is adjacent to a dog park commissioned a study of the bacteria in rainwater flowing down from the dog park through the streets and into the public storm drains. The levels of harmful bacteria went off the charts. Also, there is a potential parasite risk for dogs and humans. As a result, the neighborhood is exerting pressure on Bath City Hall to close the park. A veterinarian at Animal Care Center said, "If you love your dog, you will not take it to a dog park because of the risk of disease and injury." A veterinarian at Veterinary Associates stated that taking your dog to a dog park exposed the dog to many diseases. Will owners of dogs entering the park have to show vaccination records? Mr. Phillips continues in his cautionary statement found at dogfight.com/dogparks that the failure of a city or municipality to enforce its own rules and regulations may result in government liability. In my readings on this topic, the ASPCA strongly states that a community considering putting in a dog park should build into their financial plan an attendant hired by the city or have volunteer attendants for all hours the park is open. Obviously, the city has no financial plan because the city is broke and is asking for donations for this park. The city obviously has no plan to have an attendant monitor the park either, which exposes you to liability in a court of law. This city is not like Boston or any large city where people live in high rises and have few options to exercise their dogs. Most residents here have fenced-in yards where dogs can run off leash, and we have enough sidewalks to walk our dogs until Jesus returns. Let me give you this analogy. Bluefield is a sick, dying child. Most of the people standing around are saying, we need to get this child to a hospital immediately or she will die. But someone in the crowd says, just put a bow in her hair and she'll be fine. There is another part of this story that needs the light of day. There is a dark underbelly to this culture here. There are people who will like nothing better than to break every rule you post. They will like taking their big, bad dog to the park and watch him fight and kill, and it will mean nothing to them. I learned yesterday that when the city passed the pit bull ordinance, a family on Union Street who had 2 pits chained them up in the woods behind their house rather than register them. They did not feed them. One had a litter of puppies, and all the dogs died of starvation. For this dark side, what you are about to build is nothing more than a $75,000 dumping ground for unwanted animals and a place for pits to fight. You say, but we'll have cameras. Those cameras will be knocked out in a heartbeat. Finally, sending emergency responders after a tragedy has happened at the park is not good enough. Let some dog grab a child by the throat at that park, and there won't be enough insurance money in the world to cover you. And most of these people sitting here, and many not here tonight, will be witnesses for the prosecution. Will testify in a court of law that you were warned about all of these issues. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell.
You're welcome.
Bill Neighbors.
Yeah. My Bill Neighbors, I live on Memorial Avenue, Bluefield, West Virginia. The dog park, when it came up at the zoning board meeting, it was kicked around a bit.
I can't hear you.
I'll see if I can talk louder, or I'll walk around this way. The dog park doesn't seem, except for Ms. Campbell, who brought up some very good points, seems to have a lot of support. Exactly where is the question.
Amen. It's where. It's not to happen.
The city board, with their mayor and Mr. Rideout and the rest who supported a dog park, I'm in full agreement with. And the reason why I'm here is just to suggest perhaps another location that would be satisfactory, both to the city and to the people that live in the neighborhood. I kind of approached it from the standpoint of what's the best way to try to solve this situation to as many people's satisfaction as possible. And it occurred to me that there's a place that has been utilized about as well as the Fairview property, right on Princeton Avenue, where the old parking building stood before they tore it down. Right now, its main function is to grow grass, which it does very well. If a dog park was considered for that area, please understand, it is not an end result to utilize that area for a dog park, but its main purpose will be for the development of downtown Bluefield, which would be great. But in the meantime, it's available. It's very visible. It brings the kind of people downtown that you'd like to have downtown. And there's nobody in close proximity that lives there. I just make this as a suggestion to simply shift the emphasis from where it is to perhaps over to this piece of property. And all it is a suggestion to the board. Now, the board's given a great deal of thought to this, and I appreciate the fact that they have. My suggestion is only, let's take a look at the location. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. John Brown.
Hi, this is my first board meeting. I'm not as tan as you, Mr. Mayor, but
You have a little more hair than I do.
yeah. And I missed the first meeting or any subsequent meetings about the dog park. I was really surprised that there was as much opposition to it as it was. So I was kind of sad that I didn't get to come the first time. I think that having a dog park is a great thing for your town. You complain about dogs being unsocialized and defensive and inviting people and things like that. Well, a place that you can socialize your dog to strangers and other dogs is a dog park. I have my own yard in my own house. I built a fence for my dog, but still it would be nice to be able to take the dog to a place where she can meet other people in sort of a welcoming environment and learn about other dogs as well. I think it's a nice amenity for a town to have. There aren't any dog parks in the area that I know of. It'd be nice to be able to say Bluefield does have a dog park. It's sort of an attraction for people moving into the area. Other towns have them throughout the state. Well, I don't know throughout the state, but throughout the rest of the country. Besides socializing the dogs, the nice thing about a dog park, also gets to socialize the humans. So I'll relate an anecdote about my brother, who unfortunately 10 years ago was divorced. And so what did he do? He went out and he got a dog. So he got a dog, and living in an apartment at the time, he decided to take the dog to the dog park. And at the dog park, he met a group of people that to this day he still socializes with. They're good friends of his. And as well as he also met his new wife there several years ago. And he's still married and still has his dog, and she still has her dog. As far as the safety issues, I know if I was a person using the dog park, I would have no problem reporting somebody doing something there that they weren't supposed to be doing. I would have no problem telling somebody that you shouldn't be doing that in the park, that you need to clean up after your pet. And if I was that concerned about it, that I was afraid to approach the person, I would certainly let law enforcement know about it if there was something going on there that there shouldn't be. So as residents and people utilizing the park, I think we should all just be aware that we're responsible for it too. And I'd be willing to be responsible for it for some small amount of time as a volunteer as well. Can't guarantee a lot, but I would be interested in maybe being an attendant or something like that. That'd be fine with me. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did have one more thing. I live over on Cliffmont Avenue, and if the dog park isn't situated where they'd like to situate it, I'm in favor of it anywhere. So if you wanted, I live on Cliffmont Avenue. I live off of Heatherwood Avenue. If you wanted to put in that one down, that little piece of land down there, I wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't mind if I lived right next door. I think it's a great. Thanks.
Harold Wells, that's all come in. Hello again.
Hello. So I have to state my name. Harold Wells, raise your right hand. Sorry we're so late. We've had some customers coming in at the last minute. Amen. It's nice to have volunteers, okay, but I have a difficult time finding people to cut my grass when I'm paying them, okay? So volunteer for a short period of time, that's well and good. If we can have continual that approach, somebody continue to volunteer on those things. I live in those areas, okay, and I think about people, and I see how morale and morals have kind of declined over the years, and you expect people, to go there and police themselves. I think I have a little bit of issue with that, okay? Poop, okay, drainage. I was entomology before in the service, so we know a little bit about what it takes to exterminate flies and mosquitoes and things like that. One of my large issues is that since we've had such difficulty with our youth, okay, problems down on Union, and I'm sure it goes just so many different places. Why can't we rehabilitate that area for the youth? Okay, wouldn't it be nice to have another place for our youth? I mean, yeah, there's one down on East End. We've got the city park. Let's have another one. Let's have as many as possible around it so we can entertain our youth. We can develop them. I mean, instead of, I love dogs, cats, and all those things right there. But what about our children? Okay, where do they place in our car? I had a friend come to the store one time and he had this giant truck. It was beautiful, beautiful truck. I said, well, you got 2 children. Where do they go? He said, well, I got jump seats back here. I've got jump seats back here, okay? That's the priority for his children, okay? My children have captain seats, okay? No earphones, no televisions. We communicate and we fight and we fuss, okay? That's family. So it's important that we get in position so we can encourage our youth, support our youth. I mean, gee whiz, our society is going down as it is. We see it every day, we hear it every day. Let's try to do something more positive. Children, can you imagine that? Headline, Bluefield, children first. Amen.
Preach on, brother. Preach on.
And Harold, I was worried I was going to have to tell you to speak up.
Yeah, preach on, brother.
Mrs. Valentine?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
As I wanted to say first, Mayor Cole, when you said 2 words, open mind, as I read this letter, I ask everyone and the entire leadership here to have an open mind. This is my granddaughter, Paris Valentine, and this is concerning the injuries that she have went through from running from a dog. Now, she's going to show you a picture, not right now. It's gross, but everyone needs to know what has happened. This is an open letter to the entire leadership for the city of Bluefield, Chief of Police Dillo, Mayor Tom Cole, Animal Control Officer Randall Thompson, the entire board of directors, and city manager, Mr. Ryder. On July 19, 2014, I wrote all of you concerning the lease law in the city of Bluefield, which was not abided by Dwight Hurt, in which he let his dog run loose, chased my granddaughter Paris Valentine, and she's standing beside me. She injured her upper thigh by climbing over a fence, falling 8 feet according to the police report. No one in this entire leadership felt compelled to have empathy or to be sympathetic enough to contact me in regards to my granddaughter's well-being or acknowledge my letter. I feel the leadership felt that Dwight should not be charged with failure to confine his dog because it had been killed. If your child or someone you cared about had been injured and the dog killed, you still would have charged the owner with failure to confine. Since that time that I contacted you, on October the 1st, 2014, she had an operation on her leg because it was not infected and not healing properly. This picture she's going to show you is gross, and this is of her operation. This is the open wound of her leg from climbing this fence from wood, being embedded. This is the wound that she went through for this. Last month, the surgeon found the wound in her. Last month, on February 15th, she had to have another operation on her leg, again as it was not healing completely. After the operation, the surgeon showed me pictures of more wood that was taken from her leg because the impact from the fall was so deep that the surgeon thought she had got all the wood out the first time, but it kept draining, and she said, she's young, so this should be healing. Something still has to be in her leg. Why it is not healing? She has suffered from this injury for almost a year. Again, none of this should have happened to her in the first place if Dwight had had that dog confined. She has been limited in school activities. For example, her father allowed her to be on the school dance team, but because of her injuries, she could not participate. The dance team could not perform its school functions, for without her, they did not have enough members. Lorenzo, her father, was charged with animal cruelty. But what about the cruelty, injury, pain, and suffering that my granddaughter has had to endure because of that dog's owner? With Lorenzo being charged and Dwight not being charged with failure to confine, this is discrimination in respect to persons. Dwight has another German Shepherd about 6 or 7 months old, and he allows this one to run loose too. I was just shocked when I saw some ears in the back of that truck, and I had to look again and saw it was another dog. Miss Smith, you came around Preston Street last week, and I was driving behind you, and you don't know, you may not have noticed or not, but that dog was loose in the neighbor's yard, and Dwight was nowhere in sight. I started to stop you and let you see for yourself that I let it go. I am speaking for everyone that walks up and down Preston Street. Do we neighbors have to live through this nightmare again with him continuing to do what he wants to do with his dog, not abiding by the leash law? I am stating again, as I said in the first letter, when my granddaughter was hurt, I yelled and I told Dwight that my granddaughter had jumped the fence and was hurt. He told me nobody told her to jump that fence. It showed he didn't care. He didn't try to come and see how serious she was injured. Lorenzo was with us at that time, and he heard him say that about his daughter. How do you think Lorenzo would react, hearing him say those words about her? Do something worse have to happen to that happened to my granddaughter, have to happen on Preston Street before the law enforcement do their job? A dog can be replaced, but not a human being. Now, after hearing about my granddaughter's ordeal and what she's went through, can this whole leadership in the city of Bluefield tell me that he still should not be charged for failure to confine that dog even at this late date? My granddaughter's interests should matter in this case. Other dog owners was charged last year with failure to confine. I thank you for your time and for you listening to me, and I hope to hear from you.
You will, Mr. Knight. Chief?
I received your letter, and it's already been instructed for him to be charged. So that's already in the works. I don't, maybe it's something that you're not aware of.
Well, maybe
but
so.
It's already, that's
It's
already
in
been
the
taken
works,
care of.
and he has been charged.
Yes, ma'am. It's been
Well, he
cited.
still, like I said, he has another one, and that's his right. If he have, another dog, but at least he needs to abide,
Well, we've cited him for that issue, and we can also follow up and make sure that the one that he has, if it's running loose with somebody,
Well, that's fine. See, you know, you have just, you know, got back to me.
All right. Can I get everybody's attention? Ms. Valentine, thank you. Okay. I think we're through that portion of the meeting, and we'll move on to our action items. The first item is the second reading. I'll go ahead and read this. It's a law you're talking, so it doesn't make sense to me. But,
Have our lawyer read it.
yeah, the second reading of an ordinance to amend Part 2 Code of Ordinances of the City of Bluefield, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, Boards and Commissions, Division 2 Board of Directors, Section 2-59, Regular Meetings, Special Meetings, Compensation of Directors is set hereinafter by the amendment of subsection A. And basically, all that is our regular board meetings have alternated from noon for our first meeting of the month to 6 o'clock for our second meeting of the month. And this ordinance, second reading, would change that to both meetings being at noon. And really not, if there isn't anything else in that other than lawyer talk.
Right, that's the title of the sections of the code that's contained in the time of the meeting.
So we need a motion to approve the second reading of that.
I move we approve the second reading of the ordinance that you just referred to.
We have a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? I would make the comment, there has been some concern with regard to that. Since we alternate the time of the meetings, there's not any guarantee that whatever you may or may not be interested in, that it will be a convenient time. Moving both meetings to the noon meeting, it may be great, it may not be great, but that's one major thing that this board has done and has implemented on a regular basis is our town hall meetings. And that is a evening meeting. Our next one is next Tuesday, right? Yeah, and we have done that consistently. How many have we done, Josh? Well, this will be our fifth town hall meeting, and those are all in the evening. So we have made ourselves available, and so that would sort of be my comment with regard to that. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that second reading is approved. The next item is the approval of the meeting time for April 21st to lay the levy. And maybe we could let our treasurer say a word or two with regard to that.
Sure. All cities or municipalities within the state of West Virginia meet on the third Tuesday of each April to lay the levy. That's when you approve property tax rates that will go into effect July 1st in the county. And you all just have to decide when you want to get together.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that we meet at 12 o'clock noon on April 21st to lay the levy.
We have a motion on the table to approve a meeting time of 12 o'clock on April 22nd for 21st. Sorry. We can't get this right. All right,
Sorry.
April 21st, it's the third Tuesday of April to lay the levy at 12 o'clock, high noon.
I know, hang 'em
Any
up.
discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and that meeting time for April 21st is approved. Well, Kelly, you'll still have the floor here to talk about our general fund budget.
Before I get into the general fund budget, I think I would be remiss if I didn't point out, the city manager referred to me being responsible for the online credit card setup and payment. It does affect my department greatly, but the kudos belong to Billy Hester. Yeah, he's back.
Sorry, Billy, speak up, we can't hear you.
Sorry.
Give her a mic.
I really don't need a mic. I'll speak louder. It makes me think. But kudos to Billy Hester. is
She
what
was saying I
trying to
screwed
say.
up and didn't give the proper kudos to Billy Hester. Billy, I'm sorry. Don't turn off my computer. I need it, okay? So,
But as far as getting into the general fund budget for next year, fiscal year 2016, earlier I submitted to each of you all the nuts and bolts of next year's budget. And tonight, of course, I'm coming before you to ask for approval to submit this general fund budget FY 2016, which is projected to be $9,906,702 to the state for their final approval. So your approval then gets approved at the auditor's office. The nuts and bolts of, or some of the highlights of the general fund budget for next year, the revenue projections are 6% less as compared to the revenue projections for December 31st, 2014. However, those projections for 2016 do not include any grant funding or outside contributions because those will be added during the mandatory revision July 2015 after we roll into that new year. The operating expenses are 1.3% more as compared to the operating expenses on December 31st, 2014. Some of the recommendations for the new budget include a 2% COLA for all general fund employees, built-in increases for anticipated property liability and workers' compensation premiums, a 0.5% decrease in the mandatory PERS or Public Employee Retirement System contributions. Likewise, the new budget has allocated an additional $10,000 contribution into the police and fire pensions. That is above and beyond what we're mandatory, what we are mandated to contribute to them. We believe that helping our civil service pensions obtain a higher funding percentage will not only ensure the solvency of the pension plans, but will eventually ease the funding burden on the city in the years to come. It's kind of planning for those future years, like Mr. Rideout was talking about. The FY 2016 budget sets aside capital equipment funding for the street department vehicles and equipment, a new garbage truck for the sanitation department, various new computers, front counter renovations here at City Hall, and maybe some lighting upgrades as well. $310,000 for street paving, the establishment of a fire truck fund, and several park and recreation upgrades to include Mitchell Stadium and the tennis courts. The contributions to outside agencies remain unchanged, with $36,000 going to the Bluefield Baseball Association, $2,000 for Go Green Night, which is also to the Bluefield Baseball Association. It's a sponsorship. $65,000 for the Bluefield Area Transit, $30,000 to Alliance for the Arts, $90,000 to Kraft Memorial Library, and $1,000 to the Beautification Commission. As I said, those all remain unchanged from this year to the next year. Those are just some of the highlights. Because the budget's not approved by this body or the state, I'm not releasing that until after I get that approval because it is subject to change. But upon approval by the board, the FY 2016 general fund budget will be submitted to the state auditor for final approval. I'll be doing that tomorrow. We're under a deadline. Over the next 2 weeks, the budget will be advertised as a Class 2 legal notice in the Bluefield Daily Telegraph, so those figures will be available to the public via that media. Right. Today's meeting will remain in recess, if you notice that at the end of the agenda, until the April 21st meeting, when, of course, we meet again to lay the levy. That then finalizes this meeting. After that meeting, then the property tax rates will be submitted to the state auditor for certification to the Mercer County assessor. And upon all of that, I'm asking for your approval.
And
well,
we're not
we have
broke,
a-
are we? We're not broke. Could you let
That's a fact.
Mrs. Campbell know that we're not broke? Thank you.
Well, Art, go ahead.
I have one question on it. As you know, street paving is very dear to my heart. Last year, we set aside $245,000 for street paving. Is this $310,000 in addition to that $245,000?
The $245,000 would be this year. This budget year, which I think you all are addressing this spring.
Right.
Yes.
This takes
All right.
effect July 1.
And that's another 310 for next.
For next year.
For next,
Next year, whenever they let the next contract in the next
for
fiscal
the next
year.
budget year. Yes, sir.
I apologize, did you say revenues were down?
As compared to halfway through this year, and I also clarified that by saying the revenues that we project for next year do not include any grant funding or outside contributions, which this year does.
Not from operations though, revenues?
We're good. Everything's good.
Significant.
So,
We're not broke.
we're looking for a motion to approve.
I
fiscal-
move we approve the fiscal year 2016 general fund budget.
Have a motion to approve the 2016 general fund budget. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have that, and that is approved. And with that, you can move to coal severance.
All right. I'm also submitting for the Board 16 coal severance fund budget. The City of Bluefield coal severance fund budget for fiscal year 2016 is projected to be $48,010. It's anticipated that the carryover fund balance at the end of this fiscal year will be about $10,000, and the coal severance tax receipts plus a little bit of interest will be $38,010. The coal severance fund has historically been dedicated to purchasing police vehicles, and it's recommended that this practice continue for fiscal year 2016. Again, the total budget there is $48,010. Upon approval by the board, this budget also will be submitted to the state auditor for final approval.
I move we approve the coal severance tax fund.
We have a motion on the table to approve the 2016 coal severance fund. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that's approved. And I guess just to kind of piggyback off of Danny, this is the second budget that this board has worked on. And I will tell you that it was a pleasure working with you on that budget, and we appreciate the expertise that you brought to the city. So thank you.
Good job.
The next item we have on our agenda is we had talked about boards and commissions, and I guess what we're looking for tonight is to the board to direct our city manager to do a complete review of those and make some suggestions and some streamlining and that sort of thing.
Yes.
But a
That
complete
is,
review.
That's correct. We talked about exploring the necessity of the 16 commissions we have in the city. On a lot of these, the memberships have expired, people died. And we need to determine who wants to be on these. And we need to, after the board decides what commissions we really need and which are just superfluous, then we invite you all, and Ms. Bajari, you have left. We invite you to participate on these boards. In looking at the membership, it looks like a lot of them are just an old boy or old girl network. And to participate on these boards would be a wonderful way that you could give voice to your concerns in your community. I urge you to do that. So in that vein, I long-windedly move that we have an exploration of the necessity of the boards, the membership of the boards, and commissions. and recruit new members.
And that's to direct to Dane.
Today, yeah.
I'd like to,
He made a motion.
oh, he made the
Yeah.
motion.
We have a motion on the table to direct our city manager to review, evaluate, make recommendations with regard to the number of commissions and the purpose. I think I paraphrased that okay, I don't know, maybe. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and Dane, go to work. Why don't we let you give us a briefing on the next item, Dane?
Okay, thank you. I came to the city.
Actually, the next two items.
Okay. I came to the city board, obviously we've noticed a couple of areas where we're exposed when it comes to equipment and to facilities. And in the budget, underneath Public Works, there is a line item, so this is it's in the budget. We asked permission last to go out for a bid on a track loader. A lot of people probably don't know what a track loader is, some of you do, but let me give you the so what behind this purchase is we spent about $11,000 this year just removing snow out of city-owned properties, mostly parking lots and in the downtown area. There's just no place to push it and stuff. So we had to pay somebody else to do it because we didn't have the equipment to do it. We also don't do the best job of filling potholes because we don't have the proper equipment. The proper equipment is a milling device that actually brings the asphalt down to grade, and then we're able to get in a much better patch, much like the Department of Highways has and others. Instead, you see guys in the back of a truck throwing asphalt into a hole, and it lasts a couple of months, and then I learned about it on Fix It Bluefield again. So anyway, we want to fix them right. Then there's we asked for a couple of other attachments that allow us to fix street signs and to fix railings that on our streets and highways, as well as the ability to clean the sidewalks. If you've ever driven up Bland Road after we've laid down gravel, for example, we blow all kinds of gravel on there. We just recently cleaned it up, and it consisted of 4 guys all day with brooms sweeping it into the streets. The street sweeper to come back and pick it up. It's just not effective. And so with this track loader, we put out a bid. Unfortunately, we only received 1 bid on this, but it met the mark. What we were looking for came in under budget for $69,867, which is a Bobcat track loader that has all of those attachments that we specified in the bid in the bid, along with obviously the warranty that goes along with it, and all of the training. So requesting approval to spend what's already in the budget, in the Public Works budget, for a track loader that was submitted by Bobcat of Tazewell.
I move we approve the purchase of the Bobcat.
We have a motion on the table to approve the purchase of the Bobcat for $69,867. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and that purchase is approved. And what's the delivery time on that?
We think in the next 2 weeks, we start tomorrow, which is great. So, and what's good, I didn't mention, I apologize, we received a $37,915 discount based upon being under the state bid. So that was a good news story.
So we've got almost all those nice attachments for free, almost.
I wouldn't say
Close
that.
to.
Moving on to the next item.
The next piece, holiday lights. Anybody that's obviously, we've all seen the holiday lights. It's absolutely gorgeous down there. It's a huge manpower intensive endeavor down there, and we store the holiday lights themselves all over the city in various locations. It was presented several years ago. Matter of fact, we even received was it 50 or 25? $50,000 grant from SKUs Foundation, is that correct? Or is it 25, okay, $25,000. And then, of course, as people come through the see the holiday nights, the donations and stuff, these monies are coming from those donations and the gracious gift of the SKUs Foundation to go after a storage facility that is located at the at City Park. This has been on the table for about 3 years. We've just never executed it. And I like to execute things. And so I propose to you a bid for $58,917 for a 60 by 80 by 16 pole building that'll encompass all of our holiday lights and then some of our Parks and Rec equipment, which for the public work or Parks and Recreation Department. And the bid was from R&M Buildings, Lost Creek, West Virginia.
I offer a motion that we accept the bid to have a storage building erected at the City Park for our holiday of lights.
Have a motion to approve the bid of $58,917 for the Holiday of Lights Christmas storage building. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and that purchase is approved.
And for those of you who were perhaps like I was, I thought a pole building was going to be like a teepee, but it's apparently not. As contractor McGonigal explained, it's a certain type of building, and it's not fancy. It's going to have a gravel floor, but it's metal, right? Metal. Okay.
Metal and wood.
It's just a really cheap way of putting it up, which I thought
Inexpensive is a better word.
It's a really conservative way of putting up a very effective style of building that will be the least and most efficient way to store the Holiday of Lights lighting. Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is for your board to take a vote on our position on a dog park located at the Fairview Junior High School property, on Fairview Junior High School property. We've sort of talked that to death, so we'll put it on the table and
See how it flies. Since I'm the one with the big mouth, I'll speak my piece. I've thought of other things that could go up there. I went to junior high school back there in the dark ages, before it was down. I've thought about other locations. I've talked to people for it. I've talked to people against it. I've weighed it heavily, and I think each one of us up here has thought about this subject a whole lot. It may have kept you all up at nights. Well, that's kept me up too. I like dogs. I was always afraid of dogs. But I gotta be honest with you all. And I probably get shot for saying this. But I would worry a lot more about the drug dealers in the neighborhood than the dog park.
Amen.
I'm sorry. I'm known to be unfiltered, but that's just where it comes from my heart. And if you get a dog park up there and a playground with it, you're going to have more people up there. Yeah, but when I went to junior high school, it was a constant flow of traffic. A constant flow, which I do not think a dog park will bring a constant flow of traffic. Now, there's always two sides to every argument, and somebody always goes away unhappy. Sometimes. But if we sit around and don't do some new stuff, we're going to be sitting around here, and I've lived here for 59 of my 63 years. And we got to do something different. And so when the time comes for a vote, after I've weighed this heavily on my heart, I'm gonna vote yes. And you can come string me up, my phone number's in the phone book, you can yell at me, you can do anything you want. But it's weighed a lot on me, and if it doesn't work, you can all vote me out of office or whatever you wanna do. But we're gonna have to try something different. I wanted it at the city park. Well, there's lots of reasons not to do it at the city park. You wanna do things for our youth. We've got a new Parks and Rec guy. He's got lots of things planned for our youth. And there's gonna be space up here for our youth. And maybe, you don't know, I don't know. It may be this big, it may be this big. We've got to do something about the dogs. Me, I'd like to see a second animal control officer. That's me. Our new treasurer, who is like an angel
Manna.
descended from heaven, thank goodness. We finally know what money is. She will tell you, Ms. Campbell, we're not broke.
Why then are you taking donations to build the park?
Listen, some people are known to misspeak. I misspeak all the time. We're gonna take donations, but we're gonna have to use some city money. We're gonna have to ask for some grant money. We're gonna have to have somebody there all the time. There's gonna have to be some of these things, but you shouldn't just, we all misspeak. We are human beings. We sit up here, I don't like the fact that we're elevated because I'm no better than you are. You've known me for a good long time, Nancy. I'm no better. I put my panties on the same way you put yours. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. We can all make mistakes, but if we don't do something dry, then we're sorry. If we don't do something, we're gonna sit here and stagnate and die.
Amen.
Okay? So, there you have my stand.
Wanna make a motion?
If I'll make the motion that we go ahead with the dog park, and I'll want a playground up there, and I'll take my 3-year-old up there, and believe you me, if she sees a pit bull, she'll probably bite him. And if there's a pit bull, I'll probably scare that blue, you know what out of it. Because I've been known to be mean. But Mr. Mayor and Board, I make the motion that we go ahead with the dog park on the old Fairview Junior High School property.
I have a motion on the table. Is there any further discussion? Motion is to locate the dog park at Fairview Junior High School. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and that location is approved for the dog park. And quickly, we'll move to our reports. Ellen, do you have anything to add?
I don't know that there's another thing I could possibly say to get myself deeper in the hole. Thank you. Done thrown in the
Okay.
panties.
Chuck?
I'd just like to say that all this board is trying to do is to offer something new in the way of an amenity to the citizens of Bluefield, and I would be willing to guess that it's been a number of years since something like that's been done. So.
Mike?
Like all the board members, I've been up there with my dog, and there are some changes that must be made, because as it stands now, it's a dangerous place. That wall, and particularly since we're on notice, the kids ride motorbikes and four-wheelers up there. It's just a matter of time before somebody goes over that wall on the Rock Bridge, and we have a lawsuit, and one we could put. I think a dog park's a wonderful idea. It's in my district. And I think that it's important that you all realize that most all of the legitimate concerns that have been expressed, have been addressed by the board. We've talked about fencing, planting flowers, planting whatever it is that is necessary to beautify the place. We will have it monitored by the animal control officer. There will be restrictions on what kind of dogs can be there. You can't just dump your dog off and run away. That dog will be hauled off to the Mercer County dog pound. They'll be required for you to clean up after your dog this is not a new science. New York's been doing it for close to a half a century. I heard somebody concerned about urine somehow getting out of there, but unless we have a flood, I don't think that's a valid concern. And if it is, if it becomes a valid concern, we will address it. Noise, I would offer, this was Fairview Elementary School and Junior High School up there, so there's plenty of noise in that area not too long ago. If it becomes a problem, there'll be somebody there to monitor it, and you can address it there, or you can address it here. We know this is a hot button item. We also know that we have to establish our credibility with you, that we're going to do what we say, and we're going to make this place work. Sure, there are other locations that we could have put it in, but we'd be having the same discussion with another set of people. We hope that you will find it an attractive place, an amenity to your city that you'll be proud of. And if there are problems, bring it to our attention. We want it to work. Thank you.
Ditto to everyone. I'd also like to say congratulations to Bluefield High School for their third trip to Charleston, but this time we didn't come back with the trophy, but again, a fourth time, but again, we didn't come back with the trophy, but some of the players on there I spoke with said they did get 2 trophies in their tenure there, so that's remarkable. And also, go Mountaineers.
Absolutely. I'm a little disappointed that some of the folks left, so I'll address my comments to Al, Harold, Mr. Rebuck, anybody else that's in that neighborhood. Lori, I can't promise that there won't ever be a problem, but there's problems there now. So I was there and a young boy was riding a motorbike. So there are problems. What I can promise you is this, is that I'll do everything that I can, along with the other board members and your city officials, to ensure that the vision that we have shared with you is the reality of what this will be. I think Mike said it incredibly eloquently when he said we need to build credibility. Words are words. Give us the opportunity to see what we can do. It's our intention that this will be a place to be very proud of, that will add value to your community, to our whole community, and specifically to that neighborhood. So I guess, and Ellen, I don't think I've ever loved you anymore than your, well, I may be a stretch.
It was the panty thing.
That was well said. But anyway, I appreciate both sides of the argument, and I would tell you that to think that this was taken lightly on our part, that's certainly not the case at all. Thank you all. Hold us accountable. We're going to do our best to provide a world-class recreation area. So this meeting will now
I move that
be in
we
recess.
recess this meeting until April the 21st.
This meeting, we have a motion to recess the meeting till April 21st.
Move to recess.
There are no objections? Meeting recessed.